Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignerdetectives.com. We got a great one for you today. If I roll down this page, we've got an animated stat chart or graphic. We've got 4 columns here. As you can see, they're growing independently. They're staying at the top there, and then they're dropping back down. Now I've used icons on mine, but you can put text in there if you want to. Make it your own. Do it however you want. Add as many or as few columns as you need. And of course, it's totally responsive. If I hit my F12 key, I'm using Google Chrome here. Here it is on an iPad. Let's take a look on an iPhone. And here we have it on an iPhone. As you can see, working absolutely perfectly. I've used crazy colors here, but obviously you can make it your own. Color it and style it any way you want to. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and enable the Visual Builder. Now let's roll down to where we want to work. I've got a section here, blue tab. Inside it, I've got my little title in a row, and I've got my little columns in another row here. I'm going to delete this column. We'll start from scratch. Okay, well, let's add a new row. Just click on any existing row, hit the little green button to add a new one. I'm going to put 4 columns in mine. Like I said, obviously adjust to taste. Now you can use pretty much any module you want for this. I happen to use a blurb module because I wanted to use an icon. Let's use one of those again. And like I say, you can just have text in there if you want to. Obviously, don't want any content down there, unless you particularly want some. I don't want to use an image. I actually use an icon on mine. We'll stick to that today. Just throw in whatever icon you want to throw in there that represents your statistic or whatever it is. And I think for mine, I'll get rid of that title as well. So if we go back up to the text, let's lose that one. Okay, well, initially I'm going to give this a background just so we can see it. And let's style that icon so it's a little bit smaller. To do that, go over to our design, or you can just hit the little paintbrush attached to it here. It'll take you straight to that graphic. Let's pull this over here. I'm going to make mine white. Try 40 pixels. Obviously, style it however it works for you. Okay, I'm going to add a little padding top and bottom just so we've got a little space for our icon there. So we can close up our icon here, go down to spacing, padding top, I'm going to put 20 pixels in there. Don't actually need any on the bottom at the moment, I don't believe. Okay, once we've got our blurb in there, I want to actually expand this thing as you saw earlier. I think I made it something like 600 pixels. You can adjust to taste, and of course you can adjust on all devices. Just so that we've got some wiggle room with our row and it's not going to throw our graphics above and below, it's not going to move them, we need to give our row a minimum height. So let's go into the row, the green tab. I'm going to go over to design and sizing. I'm actually going to use height for mine today. Let's say 600. I think that's what I used before. Obviously adjust to taste. As you can see, our row, if I actually put a background in it, you'll see better. Our row is now 600 pixels tall, which is great, which gives us a bit of wiggle room. But if I animate this now, it's just going to push itself down. That's not what I want. I want it to start at the bottom and then push itself up, as you saw earlier. To make this start at the bottom of our row here, we need to use a bit of Flex CSS. So let's do that. I'm going to go over to my advanced. Remember, we're in the row still here. I'm going to go to my custom CSS down here. I'm going to hit the module elements tab. Let's go down to our main element here. I'm going to write display flex, DISPLAY, colon, flex. I'm going to put a semicolon. Always need a semicolon if you're going to write another line of code. And I want to actually align my items at the beginning. So I'm going to say align, ALIGN, dash items, ITEMS, colon, flex end, FLEX, dash END. Look what happens. It's jumped down to the bottom there. Fantastic. And it's a great way of aligning things within rows using a bit of Flex CSS. Great. Well, that's how I want it. Now we need to animate this thing, make it grow the way that we want to. So let's just save our changes here. I'm going to go back into the blurb module itself. I'll take away that blue background in a little while. Just put it there for reference for you. So I'm going to go back into my little blurb module here. And again, we're going to use a bit of CSS to do this today. I'm going to go over to my advanced, down to custom CSS. This time I'm going to use the freeform CSS tab to select our blurb module. I'm going to say selector, selector. Let's open and close some curly brackets and we can tell it what we want it to do. Well, I want it to animate. So I'm going to create an animation, animation, colon. We've got to give it a name. Let's say column C grow, perhaps GROW. Make yours whatever you want, but it does need to be unique. I'm going to have this particular one running for perhaps 14 seconds and obviously adjust to taste. I want it to keep going and going, so I'm going to say infinite. I want it to be smooth, so I'm going to say linear. Great. Now we've told it what we want it to do. We've actually got to create this animation called cgrow. And I'm going to use keyframes for that. So let's drop down. I'm going to say at keyframes, keyframes. And the name we gave it, which was cgrow. Now we can open and close some more curly brackets and tell it what we want it to do with our 14 seconds up here. Well, at 0%, basically when the page loads, we'll open some more curly brackets. Let's put in a background color that we want it to start off as. I'm going to say background, colon, whatever color you want. As you can see, it's sort of going from that red to a purpley color there. That's the starting color when it's small like that. I'm going to put a little semicolon in there. I'm going to say height. We'll give it a fixed height of 100 pixels. Height, colon, 100 px for pixels. Now adjust to taste. If you've got writing in there, you'll want to make it larger. Or you can make it smaller if you want. For instance, if I make it 10 pixels, it's probably going to cut off our little logo there because that's 40 pixels high on its own. As you can see there, you could hide the overflow if you wanted to. I'm going to leave mine at 100. I think that's my starting position there. Great. Then about, I don't know, halfway, I'm going to say 40%. I want it to be right up the top here. So I'm going to copy my 0 all the way to the end of the height 100 pixels there. Control C to copy. I'm going to drop down one more. I'm going to make that 40% perhaps. Now I'm going to make it a height of perhaps 500 pixels. We know that our row is 600 pixels, but we've got a bit of padding on the top. And again, just to taste. So let's make this 500. It should start growing. Fantastic. It's going from 0 to 40. And it gets to the top. I want it to perhaps stop when it's at the top for a little bit and then go back down gradually. So I'm going to say from perhaps 40 to 60%, I want it to be 500 pixels. We can do that with comma separation. After our 40 there, let's put a comma. Now I'm going to throw in 60% also, 60%. It should stay at the top there for 20% of our 14 seconds there. That's better. But I want it to stay down the bottom as well. So I'm going to say perhaps 80%. And 100%, it wants to stay down the bottom. So again, I'm going to comma separate. I'm going to put 80 in there, 80. I'm going to put another comma in there, and let's put 100% also. Great. So from 80 to 100% of our 14 seconds there, it's going to stay at the top, and it's going to go back down to the bottom. It's going to stay at the bottom until the 40% mark. And then gradually go back up. Perfect, just what I wanted. I'm going to change that purple color to perhaps a blue. So it changes color on the way up too. There we go, just exactly what I want. And you can use hex colors, you can use RGBAs. I'm just throwing in web colors here. Let's get rid of that blue background and we'll continue on. Okay, let's go back into this row. I'll remove that background. I really don't want it in there. If you do, obviously leave it Just hit the little trash can. Perfect. Now to duplicate this, very easy. I'm sure you're ahead of me on this. We can select our original module. In fact, I'll go to back-end mode to do this. It's always a lot quicker for me with animations to do it in back-end mode. If we roll down, here's our row. Here's our first blurb here. Let's duplicate it a couple times. We'll drag one of them over. Doesn't matter which one because they're all identical at this point. Just left clicking on the little cross there, dragging it to where I want it and releasing. Now our second one, we can go to our advanced, our custom CSS. I'm going to put a 1 in front of our animation there just so it's still a unique name. Make sure you do the same for the keyframes down below because it's the same name. I'm going to change this to perhaps 18 seconds. And you can change the heights here if you want to. Height 100 pixels, you can make it bigger or smaller. And the maximum height here, you can make that bigger or smaller. I'm going to leave mine exactly as they are. But because we've changed the timing here, they're going to kind of go up and down at different rates. So let's maybe start off with red. And we'll make this black. Whatever colors you want. I'm making mine crazy colors, but obviously choose whatever you need. Now I'm going to save that. I'm going to go into our next one here. Over to the advanced. Custom CSS. Let's change this to perhaps 16 seconds. The last one was 18, first one was 14. Again, I'm going to put a different number in front of this. I'm going to use a 2. We used the 1 on the last one, just so each of these has a unique name. And let's change this to perhaps blue and green. Fantastic. And like I say, you can change the heights if you want to. And last but not least, over to advanced, custom CSS. Let's make this one maybe 20 seconds. And we'll start off, well, it's got purple in there. Let's start off black. And we'll end up red. Okay, let's just save that. We'll flip to our desktop mode, see what we've got. And there we have it. As you can see, they're going up and down at different rates there. They'll sort of go in and out of sync. Mind you, I'd like mine to be touching, I believe. Don't want any gap in between these. Very easy to do. If we go into our row now, we can go into our design. Into the sizing here, use custom gutter width. Gutters are the space beside and below elements. If I drag this all the way down to the left to 1, they'll actually be touching there. Perfect. Just exactly what I wanted. Now it looks like this one and this one are going at similar rates. I think I forgot to put the unique number on the end. I can fix that very easily. Now there's one more thing. When we go down to tablet and mobile, we're going to have a bit of a problem with this. And I'll show you how we can fix that very easily in a moment. So let's just actually go back into our modules. Let's go back to wireframe mode. So the animation is not distracting us there. Let's have a look at this one. Looks like I didn't give it a unique number in there. Yeah. I'm going to call this 3. So we've had cgrow, cgrow1, cgrow2, cgrow3. If you don't give it a unique number, they'll try and do the same with the ones that have got exactly the same numbers. Fantastic. But if I go back now to desktop mode, like I was saying, we're going to have a little bit of a problem here when we go down to tablet and mobile. So if I go to tablet mode, we've only got 2 columns there. They're all breaking and they're sort of wrapping each other. That's not going to work at all. It'll probably be doing exactly the same on mobile. I mean, that's a pretty cool effect, but it's not what I want today. So to fix this is really easy. We just need to add another little line of flex code. Let's take this back to desktop. We'll go into our row. Let's roll this back up, back over to the advanced, the custom CSS, module elements. I'm going to roll down. I'm going to add one more line. Make sure you've got a semicolon on the end of there. I'm going to say flex wrap, ex-wrap, W-R-A-P, nowrap, N-O-W-R-A-P. Now, let's just save this. Here we are on the tablet. They're all nicely lined up again. Fantastic. And it'll be exactly the same on mobile phone. Like I say, if you wanted to, you could make the row different heights on mobile if you want to. But that's going to work fine for me. I've got the same icon going on each. Obviously, you'd want to change that out. Or as I said, you can put text in there if you want to. And that's a really little eye-catching thing to have on your site. It's going to get people's attention very quickly. And a great way of displaying some kind of statistic on your site. So there we have it, guys. There is how to create some animated columns for your site. Let's just save this, make sure it's going to work on the front end. Save draft or publish if you're ready. Or we can exit the visual builder. Roll on down. There's our little animated columns working absolutely perfectly. Like I say, I've got crazy colors on mine. I've got icons. And of course you can use as many columns as you want. You can have 6 or 8, however many you want on yours. Let's just double check it on tablet and mobile. Again, I'll hit my F12 key. And here it is on iPhone 12. Let's have a look on iPad Air. And here we have it on iPad Air. Absolutely perfect. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's plenty more videos coming. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make another little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.